Hey there, it's Johny-J here, and welcome to another episode of the 3C Show. And as you can see, the sun is beaming down today. It's an absolutely beautiful day here at Fisherman's Beach. This is in Tomaree National Park, and it's so good to be out in nature. Today on the show, I've got this tip for you that you may not have heard of. It's something that I've been doing recently that I think really makes a difference to seeing your photographs on the back of your camera, or if you have a mirrorless camera, through the electric viewfinder when you're reviewing them, when you're in the field, okay? And before we get into that, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Team 3CX community. You guys are awesome, and I'm just loving what's been going on in there. We're on our new community platform now, and it's exciting. So much happening in there. People talking about processing and field work, and not only that, every month we have a masterclass and assignments, and I give personalized feedback. So look, if you're ready to take the next step with your landscape and nature photography, please send me an email. There'll be a link below. Send me an email, and we can have a chat about the community and how it can help you with your photography. All right, let's get into this tip. Now, on the back of your camera, in the menu system, you may have seen something called a color profile, okay? Or what's the other term? Some people call them the color profile. Other cameras call them a color style, okay? And you'll see things like vivid, landscape, portrait. And what that is, it's just basically the camera. You're telling the camera, it's like a preset almost for the JPEG preview, okay? So you're telling the camera, okay, when I take a photo and you show me the JPEG preview on the back of my camera, please apply this color style to it, okay? And what your camera's doing, it's actually adding saturation, it's adding contrast, and it's doing things like that, just like it would normally process a JPEG, but you've got this creativity to use these different presets, okay? And as landscape and nature photographers, we actually don't want to see that, okay? We want to see the image to make sure that we've captured all that lovely information. We've captured everything from those highlights to those darks. You want to choose something that's neutral or flat, and that's going to give you the flattest color profile. It's going to show you the closest processing of that JPEG to similar to what your raw file is going to look like, okay? And why is that important, you might say? Well, let's have a look at this, okay? So you can see if on the back on this histogram here, you've got a nice pointy histogram. Nothing's clipping, there's no highlight clipping, there's no shadow clipping. The histogram looks really nice here, okay? And that's with my flat profile. It's giving me that bit of an idea, and when I look at that, I know when I've captured that raw file, I've got all that information there, okay? Now look at this image. This is one with landscape applied, and you can see, in the photo, what it does, it applies those things I talked about. It's processing, a preview of that raw file in your camera, and it's adding saturation, adding contrast. And look at that histogram. Look how different it is, okay? And that's the problem. That's an issue, because you look at that and you go, ooh, it looks like I may have got it, or I'm not sure. It might be clipping a bit there in the shadows and the highlights, where in fact it's not. You've captured all that beautiful information, when you look at the neutral or flat picture profile, okay? So in summary, basically, if you're choosing the flat picture profile or the neutral, some cameras have called it, okay, it's going to give you the closest representation in that JPEG preview on the back of your camera to what your raw file is going to be. And that's super important in the field. We want to make sure that, what we're looking at is really similar to the raw file, making sure we've got all that information, because we don't care about how pretty the picture looks in the back of the camera. We're not worried about that, because when we get it home in our post-processing software, we're going to add that, the color tone, the saturation, the contrast, and all those things there. We're just worried about in the field of capturing all that information, okay? So super important. All right, so depending on your maker camera, just Google your maker camera color profiles or color styles, and that will tell you where it is in the menu, and choose that neutral flat, and you'll be good to go. All right, that's it for this little quick tip. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, if you're interested in joining the Team 3CX community, we're in there every month, and I'm helping photographers just like you smash out their photography goals. So drop me an email, let's have a chat about that. All right, that's it for this one. It's been a quick one, but it's a tip you don't often hear about, and it's something that I find is really helping me to make sure I'm capturing all that information in my raw file in the field. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I hope you're doing amazing, and we'll talk again really soon. All right, peace.